welcome back. My name's Jennifer, and I am here to review The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I picked this up as kind of a last minute book for the month of February, as Valentine's Day had just gone by, or was, approaching at the time. And I thought, why not read a nice romantic novel? So I didn't actually get around to reading it till after Valentine's Day because I'm always slow on the uptake, and this is just how things work out in my world. So I ended up reading it shortly after Valentine's Day, and I picked the book up just because it's a book that I've heard talked about a lot. And when I quickly read the back cover, it had talked about a story between two rivals, kind of a Romeo-Juliet story. And I thought, why not? It's something new. I don't really read those kind of stories. So I thought, kind of an interesting take on a romantic story. And I'm not going to go too much into the whole synopsis of the book. This is a fairly old book, I guess. It's a few years old. And I know that it's been talked about a lot here on BookTube. So I'm not going to rehash too much because I think it's pretty much been talked about nonstop back in the day. But the story is about Marco and Celia, who are two characters that work for the Night Circus, which is a circus that pops up overnight in whatever place it feels like going across the world, only opens during the night, closes at dawn, and does not open up during the day. So the whole story revolves around this Night Circus and these two characters primarily. Some of the other side characters are brought in. I think there's a set of twins. There's the people who started the Night Circus. There's the trainers of Celia and Marco, who were the ones that kind of brought them together into this challenge that they've entered. You don't really know much about the challenge until so far into the book. And it's quite an interesting turn. But overall, I only gave this book about a 3.5 out of 5. I personally did not love it. The descriptions of the Night Circus, the writing was absolutely stunning. It was gorgeous. But for me, it was too much. I found that there was just so much description of the actual circus and not enough focused on the actual characters and their development. Marco and Celia were characters who fell in love, but it was kind of one of those situations where you're like, why? Why did they fall in love? I just found that there wasn't enough character building. It was all about this world building. And unfortunately for me, I don't really care about the world building of a circus. But I will say that the descriptions of the different tents, of the different magics that were used, were absolutely stunning. So props to Erin Morgenstern for actually describing these things in such beautiful detail that you can imagine them in your head. And some of these were pretty surreal, so that's saying something. But like I said, overall, I just wish the characters had been built more, that the story focused more, not so much on the challenge and the circus, but more on these characters. I mean, I think it was like 200 pages in before the characters actually met, and the book was 600 and some pages long on my e-reader, so it was kind of just like, oh man, this is a long story and not enough is really going on between the characters because they only met up every so often. And it just didn't do it for me. As far as romantic literature went, it was a thumbs down, but in the scope of story, it was a gorgeous story. People who love circuses might really enjoy this. It was very descriptive. Anybody who has a nice interest in illusions and magic and how the real can be real instead of pretend and all that sort of atmosphere would enjoy this. But other than that, I don't have much else to say about this book, so I'm going to leave it there. Please don't hate me. I know this is a beloved book by many, many people, but it just, like I said, didn't do it for me. So this was my review on The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If you have a difference of opinion, which I'm sure you do because most people love this book, leave it down in the comments below. Let me know. and I will be back shortly with another review. Bye!